Hello everyone, I'm Snowball or SnowballSMB, and this is Sonic Mania Amy New Game Plus, no major glitches. Quick rundown, Amy is not in the base game of Sonic Mania, but thanks to some very, very talented people in the community, Amy is now playable in Sonic Mania and plays super, super well. I'll explain a little bit about her special abilities once we get into the run, but I've got a lovely commentator joining me today.
Hello, I'm Numbers. I am your friendly neighborhood commentary buddy and general Sonic and Sega enthusiast. We got a great run for you coming up, so I'll let Snowball take it away.
All right, going to give a quick countdown, and then we are going to be off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Not me almost reaching for the button on my keyboard that I use for splits when I play this game. So we're in Green Hill. Fun fact about Sonic Mania. It is a lovely little collection of some fan favorite zones from Sonic 1, 2, CD, and 3 and Knuckles, as well as a few new zones as well. Every Act 1 sort of feels like a nice little mashup of stage elements from Act 1 and Act 2 of these zones from their original games, and then Act 2 always has like a cool little gimmick to it. The first gimmick of the game will be the zip lines on Green Hill Act 2. Also, Green Hill Act 2 is, for some reason, one of the hardest stages to speedrun, because there is a very precise jump pretty early in the run that gets you up to the top path. And this is one of those stages where the top path is the fastest path. So let's see if I can't get this real quick. Going to grab these speed shoes out of the tree. 1, 2. Not quite, but I can use one of Amy's abilities to get up here. So Amy has 2 really cool abilities. There's the Heli Hammer, and there is a big hammer flip jump thing. The Heli Hammer gives her a really sort of wide hitbox and gives her more air time. Whereas the hammer flip or hammer jump, I always am switching what I'm calling it between those two. Give her a ton of height to get up to high to reach places, pop capsules that float down from the top of the screen, like this one coming up very quickly, as well as some other things. Line up here, and the capsule is going to be a little bit further to the right than normal. Oh well, second try's the charm. And
you'll see Snowball making very quick work of these bosses using the invincibility, which we'll probably talk about more in a few moments. Yeah,
so since this is New Game Plus, I'm starting from an already completed save file, complete with all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, which means that as soon as I hit 50 rings on a stage, I can have Amy transform into Super Amy. She has significantly increased speed, significantly increased jump height, as well as invincibility. There will be a couple stages later on where I actually won't activate Super State because the increased speed makes her very slidey, and that can actually be dangerous on a couple stages. Also, you may have noticed I just went off to the side to grab a big ring. That is because the big rings are the sort of portals to the special stages where you grab the Chaos Emeralds. But once you have all 7, and you get a big ring, then it will just instantly give you a lovely count of 50 rings, which is the minimum required amount to transform into Super Amy. Didn't quite get the 4 early hits on this boss that I like, but 3 is still very good. And this boss is also sort of giving a little teaser of the Act 2 gimmick, which is personally one of my favorites.
Would you like me to explain that gimmick?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so coming up here in Chemical Plant Zone 2, you'll see the flubber, and we've already seen one right there. So there's 4 different colors of flubber. Light blue will give you a little bounce just like that. Green is going to give you a big bounce. Blue actually damages you. And then there's also purple flubber like this one that grabs you. Throughout the stage, there are also places where you can hit a syringe to change the color of the flubber. And this is, the first really very different, unique mechanic that we see in this game. And that pattern is going to hold where the stage 1s and stage 2s kind of are nostalgic and then innovative in the way that Snowball described previously.
Yeah, jumping off of that ceiling, I preferably would have gotten the super activation then, instead of bouncing on the flubber and losing a couple seconds, but it's actually a really tight window once you jump off the ceiling to activate super state before you land. I'm gonna do a big jump up here, go on the blue side of this corkscrew. That one, it's a lot less crucial that you get in the blue side, as opposed to the first one that was earlier in the stage, but it still saves a little bit of time. And now, this is some of my favorite movement in the whole stage coming up here. Going to do another big jump all the way up here, bounce over here, hit a syringe to make it green, all the way up, and then just run, and we are coming up to every Sonic speedrunner's nightmare of a boss fight. We've got Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Puyo Machine. So this is literally just a game of Puyo, so if there are any donations, now is a great time for them.
We love when a game turns completely into a different game. And this game could look a lot different if we can meet this lava reef glitch incentive. As a reminder to everyone, we only have until 40 minutes in the run to meet this incentive. We are just under halfway there, so I know you can do it, chat. Get your donations in. This is one of the hardest levels in the game, if so I've been told, and this would just make it even harder, but also even prettier. So keep getting those donations in. Like this $75 donation from Puriel that had no comment, but thank you so much for your generous donation. Pumpkin Spice also donated $15, saying, "Good luck, Snowball. I can't hammer in enough how cool it'd be to turn the lights off for the incentive." I see what you did there, Hammer with the Amy. Thank you so much for that donation. And yeah, keep getting those in. We want to see that incentive. We do not have a lot of time left to meet it.
What am I doing exactly? Okay, that actually works. In case you couldn't tell, I'm really bad at Puyo. And it seems like today is one of those days where Eggman wants to actually try. Oh, never mind, he's bad. So that was a boss fight. And now we are coming up to Sonic Mania's first unique zone, Studiopolis. Act 1 is kind of mean. Act 2 is kind of mean, but in a less way. Gonna come right on up here to the top route because, again, top route is significantly faster. Jump Helihammer, jump. I want to hit that spring. That actually put me at a really good point of the cycle, and I don't know what that jump was. I don't actually know what's faster there, to Helihammer or Hammer Flip across, but grab some speed shoes, fall down into the broadcast van. The Amy signal is going over this way. Fortunately, there is a nice big ring right next to the path. So now I can just super Amy my way through the rest of the stage, and that is very important that, one, I've got super state active, and two, this many rings, because this boss fight is also not the greatest thing going. This is an auto-scroller of a fight, so the boss is going to shoot columns of 3 missiles, top, middle, bottom, 1, 2, 3. Top comes onto the screen first, then middle second, bottom third, of course, so we're gonna get unfavorable RNG. But if you got any more donations, this is another really good time because we're just running into missiles for the next minute.
Well, I'm going to make a quick call out for donations because selfishly, Studiopolis is my favorite piece of music from the Sonic series. From our runner and commentator, I would like to hear yours as well. But chat, if anybody has any favorite tracks from the entire Sonic series, Sonic is known for some really slamming music. So I want to hear those in your donation. So let me know, donate to that Lava Reef Glitch incentive and tell me what your favorite track from Sonic is. Because I want to hear those and learn a little bit more about the amazing music from this franchise. Snowball Numbers, do either of you have any favorite music from Sonic?
I have 2 that I always point to for 2D games and 3 for the 3D games. I always like to sort of separate them, so I've got a nice top 5. From the 2D games, definitely Titanic Monarch Act 2, which is the final stage of this run. As well as SnowballSMB Act 2 from Sonic & Knuckles. And then from the 3D games, Undefeatable and I'm Here Revisited from Sonic Frontiers, and Infinite's Battle theme from Sonic Forces. I absolutely love all of those tracks. They're so good. What about you, Numbers?
I was also going to say Titanic Monarch 2. But I have a bit of a spicy pull, which is the core, aka the ZG Mobius strip theme from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, which is an excellent track.
That is a deep cut.
All right, we are now into the TV studio. This, I need to slow down a little bit so that way I can grab these rings with the lightning shield. Now feels like a good time as any to explain the elemental shields. There are 3 types. There's the lightning shield, the fire shield, and the bubble shield. The lightning shield protects you from taking damage from electricity as well as gives you a ring magnet. The fire shield protects you from taking damage from fire and lava. And the bubble shield prevents you from drowning when you're underwater, which is very handy on Hydra City later on in the run. At least Act 1 and the Act 2 boss fight, because most of Act 2 is actually above the water. But we are coming up onto the boss. Nice little weather forecast robot. But since we're super Amy, we don't really play this fight. Alright, fight's done.
Good boss.
It's the thing that is a little bit tragic about having Super Amy for that fight in both All Emeralds and New Game Plus is that's actually a really cool boss fight. It'll like randomly select a type of weather, and then that weather will affect the battle, and you'll have to like dodge lightning or super hot fire sun rays, I think is a thing. There's also wind that tries to blow you away. It's a really cool fight that we just don't play. Also, this zone has the first sort of big divergence on the new No Major Glitches version of the category. And I'll explain a little bit about that once we get into Act 2, because it is sort of towards the end of that. But Flying Battery, very fun stage, really cool stage. A little bit of a frightening stage in both this game and Sonic & Knuckles, where it originally was from. I need to be careful coming up here because there are those magnets that are on the ceiling. They can turn on and off. And when they turn on or off, if you are like either above or below those huge metal spiky platforms, you'll just get crushed and die, and that's really not good for making it through the stage quickly. Shoutouts to these missile cycles being so much friendlier in Sonic Mania. because in Sonic and Knuckles, you have to wait for 2 full cycles of the missiles to open up the holes in the floor instead of just 1. That's honestly one of my favorite quality of life stages on a returning zone, because I have done a decent amount of running Sonic and Knuckles New Game Plus in Sonic Origins. And this stage is kind of painful in that game because of missile cycles.
It's significantly friendlier in this game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Going to skip the cutscene. That does lose the lightning shield, but that is a-okay because there is a big ring very close to the start of this stage. So I'll be activating Super Amy almost immediately. One of the big gimmicks for this stage is the sort of trash piles that you can just sort of sink through. They're not really that important for the run. Also, I don't want to step on both those mines and then miss my footing, because if that happens, if both of those mines that were on the floor blow up, a hole into the abyss below the flying battery opens. And yeah, I do want to be a little bit careful here because it is not overly difficult to just sort of fall off the stage there. And when that happens, that's really, really bad because you can't even really restart the stage because the big ring doesn't respawn. Oh nice, got through that first opening, skipping one of the claws. That's nice because those things are not the quickest. But we are coming up to the second outside section. And this is where the sort of first big route divergence happens between just a glitched as opposed to no major glitches run. So, gotta be careful here. I don't know if I've ever messed up that jump before. That's unfortunate. There's a way to skip this boss. So, when I hit that red spring towards the end of the outside section and was running up on the ceiling, if you time a jump as Super Amy just right, and then helihammer all the way across the, just the air, I guess, you will end up landing on a portion of the stage that is actually after this boss. And the way that happens is the animal capsule at the end of the stage is actually near the bottom of the stage, to my knowledge, but because of the way the boss works, it sort of tricks you into thinking that we're going up, but we're actually not. There is a danger with that boss skip, and two dangers actually. One, you can not go quite far enough, and the screen will lock in place before you can actually drop down to the platform from a higher up one to the capsule. And also, the second danger is the cutscene that plays after you break the capsule. Amy would run to the side of that platform, and there would be a hang glider there that she would grab to fly over here to Press Garden, which is, by the way, the second unique zone to this game. If you accidentally grab one of the hang gliders, I'm pretty sure the game just sort of soft locks. I need to make sure not to go into those sparkles, that would be bad. But this stage is interesting, very fun, very prone to just destroying runs. Sometimes those little conveyor belts just want to decimate any good pace of a run you're on. Especially one coming up right up here, I believe, because I need to go up a little bit higher. This one right here. You need a big jump off of that one to get up there, and sometimes it just refuses. Also, I'm going to go for something a little bit tricky here. Nice.
Nice.
That is a really hard trick. Very
I can't do that one.
I have probably about a 10 to 20% success rate with that, so I'm very happy that I was able to hit that in the run. Also, you may have noticed that I just went off the track a little bit to grab a fire shield, even though I am Super Amy. That is for Act 2, because Act 2 has lots of ice that the fire shield can just sort of break. Also, I messed up my jump up into the boss chamber early. That's fine. Now we are going to get a little bit of a treat. Moonwalking Amy, because we are not going to skip this cutscene because of wanting to keep the shield. So I'm going to just have Amy face that way. And then... Moonwalking
Nice.
Amy.
Give it up for Moonwalking Amy. Do you have time
Alright.
for a quick donation?
Yeah.
All right, so folks are coming in and answering the call for their favorite Sonic tracks. And also, we are just under halfway, literally $3 away from being halfway to that incentive being met. So keep getting these donations in. Let us know your favorite tracks. Let us know anything about your favorite Sonic characters, games, anything. This is a huge franchise and really fun. Like this $5 from Flame that says, "Find Your Flame" from Frontiers as their favorite track.
Can't escape the Find Your Flame memes. Thank you so much for the donation, Flame. Alright, now... I want to get frozen there, because this allows me to take a substantially faster route than I would be able to otherwise, because I have to be able to break that wall of ice blocks. You may have noticed that I was running through, like, jets of cold air perfectly fine without getting frozen earlier in the run, but then I got frozen there. That is because the fire shield was preventing me from getting frozen, and that attribute of the fire shield actually gets turned off when you activate super state, so that way you can't effectively soft lock yourself. Because there are parts of the stage where you have to be frozen in one spot or another to advance. So, very handy little thing. Now we are going on to some Sonic CD. We got Stardust Speedway. Also, the boss of Act 2, another absolutely fantastic piece of music. If you know who that is, you know what I'm talking about. But we will be seeing him in not too long, because this stage is not that long, and neither is Act 2. This stage is also, though, quite a bit threatening to me specifically. This is probably my worst stage in the game. I'm just very prone to either running into some hazardous thing or accidentally taking the wrong route. Usually I end up taking the wrong route when... oh, shoot, come on. There we go. When, these little, like, booster things with the red springs are, like, at an angle I'm not expecting. But fortunately, we're through pretty much any of the spots where things can go very wrong. So, okay, I don't know how I had that much speed, but that was cool. Going to take this little tunnel because this is ever so slightly faster. And now we've got a big old Firefly bot that we need to beat up. So, going to transform into a small Firefly, and then two small Fireflies, and then is going to go back to being a big Firefly. And then, we are going to be moving on over to Act 2. So Act 1 was in the past. Act 2, I believe, is in the present. So we are going to the future from where we are now.
But it is in the future. We gotta go back to the future.
Ah!
I'm sorry.
Do you have time for a quick relevant donation?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Oyster donated $70 to that Lights Out Lava Reach glitch incentive, which, by the way, is over halfway there. We have less than $900 to go. Keep on getting those donations in. And they said, special shout out to Sonic CD, both American and Japanese soundtracks. Stardust Speedway, Bad Future from the American, and Metallic Madness Present from the Japanese version. One of the most interesting soundtracks ever for having two fully different soundtracks for two different language versions.
Yeah, both soundtracks for Sonic CD are so good. I'm gonna just sort of neutral my way through that tunnel, and Amy's just going to build up a ton of speed. But Sonic CD did not just add Amy to the games. It also added Sonic's rival, and honestly, I think that this is the real rivalry that started back in Sonic CD. We've got a 3-phase fight against none other than Metal Sonic himself. This is one of my favorite just boss fights in a 2D Sonic game. It is so cool. And first phase, bit of a race. Metal Sonic, please go into the thing. Thank you. Sometimes he gets a little bit confused as to what's happening. I'm also not very good at doing the optimal quick kill on this phase, because normally what you want to do... Oh, dang, that's unfortunate. Normally, ideally, what you would have happen is you would hit these Silver Sonics when they're curled up in a spin dash straight into Metal Sonic. That deals 2 hits worth of damage instead of 1, whereas these energy balls just deal 1. But I'm not that good at aiming the spin dash Silver Sonics that well. But that is phase 2 done, and now we are going to actually get a bit of a callback to Knuckles Chaotix. As cool as that is, we've got, what's his name? Metal Sonic Kai, I think, is the name of this form. He's big. He can't really do much against Super Amy though, because Super Amy's gonna just run into him, and that's the fight. But Metal Sonic's boss theme is easily in my top 3 favorite tracks in this game. So good. And in terms of zone count, or level count, we are now halfway through the run, but time-wise, definitely not, as some of the later zones in this back half are pretty chunky in size. We've got Hydro City, or Hydrocity, or Splishy Splashy Funtime Zone, or Hydro Kitty, or however you want to pronounce it. Very controversial stage. I personally love it. Some people don't like it because, I mean, water stages in Sonic are not always the best. Like, let's face it, but I think I have a lot of, like, kind of nostalgia biases, I guess, towards this stage, because this was actually the first zone in Sonic Mania that I learned how to speedrun. So I'm always going to be a little bit biased in favor of it. I am going to jump and turn left here, so that way I can jump through that one-sided ramp. I do need to be careful coming up here because I can get crushed by some moving blocks, and if that happens, I lose over a minute, because there's not a single checkpoint in this stage that I end up hitting until like right before the boss. So need to be very careful. Right here, hammer flip up. All right, we are in the clear. The boss for Act 1 is really cool because it's sort of like a reverse callback to the boss fight at the end of Hydro City Act 2 and 3 and Knuckles. This time we're going to be driving the Eggmobile, generating a bunch of like whirlpool, cyclone things, and Eggman's in a scuba suit. He's also putting explosives in the water. I don't think that's good for the local environment.
Can I hop in with a quick update?
Yeah, this is a really good time for it because this is kind of an auto-scroller.
Oh, amazing. So we are 60% of the way to that incentive for the Lights Out Lava Reach glitch. We have less than 15 minutes to get that met, so keep those donations coming in. I know we can do it, chat. Let's keep on going. We have $768 to go, and keep getting those donations in with your favorite tracks and favorite things from Sonic. Daggett on Twitch sent in $15 saying, my top 3 favorite Sonic tracks: Press Garden Act 2, Ice Cap Act 1 from Sonic 3, and Arid Sands Night version from Sonic Unleashed. Kamdare also sent in $10 and said, favorite Sonic music track? Younger me standing up and full-throated yelling Sonic Boom from Sonic CD. What a mood. Amazing
nice. Pick. All right, time to move on into Act 2. Act 2, the name of the game is Figure Eights. top left to bottom right to top right to bottom left, we are going to do pretty much none of that. Because Super Amy is freaking awesome. The increased speed and jump height that Super Amy gets, combined with the Heli Hammer, lets her skip easily half the stage. So this is, you're all in for a treat with this stage. I love the skips on this one so much. I do want to hold on to this bubble shield until I get to Super, just because I really want to have it for the boss, since the boss is primarily underwater. And as I mentioned earlier, the bubble shield does prevent you from being able to drown. That being said, if things don't go according to plan, there is a bubble shield along the path later on in the stage. But here's the first figure 8. We're going to just jump from the top left to the top right and then skip literally like the whole thing, because we're speedrunners and we want to go fast. So the next one is coming up shortly. This one's going to work a little bit differently. You may recall in Act 1, I jumped through a ramp because I had enough speed and was facing a specific direction. You can also do that here, because these ramps are also kind of like one-sided pieces of collision, I think. And the way collision works on some platforms in this game is kind of strange, really cool, and we're already at the boss. That felt like that was a really good Act 2.
It was.
I don't think Eggman thought this one through very well, because he also put explosives in the water, and if you hit those and they hit his Eggmobile, then he takes damage. But also, because Amy's in her super form, she is also a mine. So you can just put yourself up against any of these blocks and crash into them, and that works too. But now we've got a callback to the Hydro City Act 1 fight from Sonic and Knuckles, and this is the one level transition cutscene that you can't actually skip. So I'm going to try to jump over here and land on a weird piece of collision from the quarter pipe. I don't think that was entirely ideal. I did get at least most of the way. So ideally I would have been a little bit higher, so Amy would have generated a little bit more speed when she slid down, and then that burst of water would have sent her up higher on the left wall with more speed going back right, and she would have been pretty much at the door. But that still skipped quite a bit of Amy just walking. But we have an auto-scroller. It wouldn't be a 2D Sonic game without one of these plane levels. So this is the literal perfect time in this run for any donations and messages from the host.
Absolutely. And before I get to those donations, actually, Snowball, could you tell us a little bit about why we want to see that lava reef glitch? Because we have just over $700 left to go, and we want to see that, and we are running out of time.
Yeah, so the lights out lava reef glitch is this cool little thing where if you time it right in the level transition between Lava Reef Act 1 and 2, you can literally turn the lights off in Act 2. And Act 2 has these absolutely beautiful sparkling crystals as part of the, like, background of the stage. Those don't, the lights from those don't get turned off. The lights from everything else do. So you just are running through the dark with these beautiful crystals just lighting the way through the stage, and it is so, so gorgeous.
Yeah, so you heard it here. Chat, get those donations in, do it for the vibes, and we've actually just jumped up. We have less than $500 to go. Let's keep going. We're running out of time. Keep those donations coming in. I know we can do it. Keep those donations coming, like this $25 from Poe that said, give me the neutral Chow Garden theme from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle any day, all day long. Shout out to Chows. We also had a $150 donation from Vacuum with no comment, but thank you so much for helping us hit this incentive. It's gonna look so beautiful. Please, we gotta do it. We gotta do it for the vibes, chat. Get those donations in.
Yeah, that is honestly one of my favorite visual glitches in any game that I've played. So I really hope that we can hit that incentive so that way I can show it off for all of you. But now we've got the boss. This boss is pretty RNG because he'll just do a random amount of jumps, and this is also a really annoying boss fight. This boss fight is also the entire reason why I don't opt for Super State at any point in this run, because I have gone into this fight in Super State, and I've been moving a little too fast, and I've slid off the plane.
Unfortunately, the plane doesn't get the extra acceleration from Super State, right? So
yeah,
be very careful.
Yeah, I decided when that happened that was a one and done type of mistake.
Less than $300 to go on the incentive.
Let's go. We've only got 3 levels left until we make it to Lava Reef, and this one's pretty short. Mirage Saloon Act 2. We are going to get a pretty cool callback to some very underappreciated classic Sonic characters, at least in my opinion. We'll see them when we get there. Also, I don't know what this armadillo bot is doing, but I'm gonna just leave him to do whatever that is.
Chilling.
Also, so Mirage Saloon is the 3rd unique zone to Sonic Mania. But if I am remembering correctly, I want to say that the overall theme was originally supposed to be in Sonic CD, with, of course, a different zone name. And then it didn't make it in, and then I want to say it was also then supposed to be in Sonic 2. I might be wrong about that part, but I know that this sort of desert theme was originally going to be in Sonic CD, and it got cut. Or at least either Sonic CD or Sonic CD 2011. I can't remember which. But anyway, we've got Heavy Magician transforming into the hooligans from classic Sonic. We got Bang, we got Bean, we got Bark. I am opting to get 1 hit on Heavy Magician, and then 2 hits to get up to 6 instead of just doing the 2 hits right away, and then she just goes back in the box then. And now I only need to do 1 cycle on Bark, and that is the fight. Very cool fight, really easy with Super State, but also just super cool callback. We will be actually getting a little callback to another classic Sonic character that has tragically, borderline never seen the light of day. That will be much closer to the end of the run, though. But for now, we've got Oil Ocean. This is a bold choice, I feel like, for a stage to bring back. I personally am very happy about it, because Oil Ocean, I have a bit of a soft spot for it because of childhood memories with Sonic 2. But I know that it can be a little bit controversial at times, but we're gonna just set fire to the Oil Ocean because I'm sure that won't have any sort of negative effects on anything. And grab Big Ring. We are super aimy. We are just flipping through. We need to get to Bob the Builder because Bob the Builder is causing trouble at the end of the stage. He won't take long to defeat. Also, Act 1 is pretty short. Act 2, though, really, really cool because it kind of combines Oil Ocean a bit with maybe my favorite zone. Yeah, I think probably my favorite zone in any 2D Sonic game. Combines it a little bit with Sandopolis Act 2. In the sense of, also that was Bob the Builder, he's gone now. Sandopolis Act 2, there are these sort of levers hanging from the ceiling that you can use to turn the gradually dimming lights back on at full strength to scare the ghosts away. Those hanging levers are back on Oil Ocean Act 2. And what they do here is they will clear the smog for a certain amount of time. Once the smog builds up to a certain point, it will gradually be draining rings at the same rate that Super State drains rings. So ideally, we don't want that to happen. So once I get to Super Amy, then at that point I won't really need to worry about it. But for now, I am going to opt to grab this lever. And now I should be A-okay until we make it to Super Amy, which I should be getting enough rings for right up here.
We have an update. $53 left to hit that incentive. Chat, you are crushing this. Incredible progress. Take us home. Let's meet that incentive. I know we can do it. $53 left. Let's go.
We've got barely any time. This is the last stage before we get to Lava Reef.
Come on, get that donation in.
Also, this is some of my favorite movement in the entire run right here. Full strength spin dash into an instant heli hammer just straight over the top of that submarine. You want to be careful when you're going over those submarines because you can fall into them and they're very slow bits of stages in there. That just loses time for literally no reason.
We met the incentive.
Let's go. All right, gotta make sure that I don't skip the level transition at the end of the next stage. Then you all are in for a glorious visual treat on the next stage. Or not next stage, the stage after the next one. Lava Reef Act 1 is a whole lot of running through these cave tunnels. I will be going off the track for a bunch of rings pretty early to get Super State nice and early, but it would be a pretty good time for some donations.
Oh, and we have so many. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting us to this incentive. Like Courtney Rail, who sent in $250 and said, haven't been able to watch much live this week, so I'll have a lot to catch up on with the VODs. And want to see the lights out Lava Reef glitch when I rewatch this run. Keep making Amy look great, Snowball. Less than 3. Diligent Dodo also sent in $5 saying, this is the requisite Sally the Acorn remembrance donation. Shoutouts to the best princess. We also had a $5 donation from Hockey Babbler, who said, I am a simple creature. I hear Glitch Showcase, I donate. All aboard the Glitch Train! Broken computer noises. Thank you so much for that donation as well as $50 from Anonymous that says, I'm hearing the Sonic drowning music and it's motivating me to donate. Well, I'm glad it motivated you to donate, and I think all of us have some nightmares about the Sonic drowning music.
Yeah, that's accurate.
We also had a $25 donation come in from Codebreaker that said, I think Snowball forgot to mention her real favorite Sonic song, Live and Learn. Or maybe not.
I like Live and Learn when it's at the Sonic Symphony, and when it's in Sonic Movie 3, this is going to be really controversial. I really don't like it in SA2. Like, I really don't like it in SA2.
And shout out to the Sonic Symphony. Sick concert.
Yeah, absolutely amazing concert. All right, two. Really cool heli hammer coming up right here. Or not, because I'm going to jump solo that I just land very gracefully on the platform. That was almost not good. That was almost a little too low. Also, I always have to remind myself that narrow corridor that I just ran through, I can just run through it without worrying at all in Mania. In Sonic and Knuckles, however, there's one of those platforms that had the like rocket boosters and the spikes that would slam down. There's one of those in a really low ceiling corridor, and you have to be a little bit careful about that so that way you don't get crushed. But since that one's not in Mania, don't have to worry about it. But now that the sort of super armor is off of this boss, now it's just 4 simple hits. And then I am going to jump over here to sort of save a second or two of Amy moving on over to this elevator. So I need to time this cutscene skip just right. And now, the lights are out. Oh yeah, the lava's still on. But it's the lava and the crystals really showcasing the beauty that you can find if you know where to look in the lava reef. Also, I need to be careful not to get crushed up ahead because there's one spot that I have very clumsily gotten crushed at before. Fortunately, I found out that if you get crushed with the lights out glitch active, the lights will still be off for the next attempt. So if I tragically get crushed up ahead, doesn't mean anything for the showcase, which is perfect. Also, for some reason, that hammer flip gives you iframes for part of it, which is nice. I'm gonna just completely time that wrong. Coming up here, I will activate Super State, want that fire shield. If you jump too early, then the fire shield won't be active yet, and you will just get hit and lose all your rings. Activate Super State, go down this hole, and just run through the rest of the stage. We're coming up to the fourth of the hard-boiled heavies, a heavy rider. Very annoying fight. I think that heavy rider is a character who definitely knows what she's doing with how annoying this boss can be, because you can just sort of bounce off her a lot and lose a lot of time to not getting a quick cycle. Unfortunately, the lights are going to turn back on here for the boss fight, but that was Lights Out Lava Reef. I am so happy that got met. Thank you so much to everyone who donated for it. That is honestly one of my favorite glitches in any Sonic game. It is just so pretty. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice. Got a
Very
good
nice.
capsule spot. We have only 2 zones left. Let's go back to Sonic CD, shall we? We've got Metallic Madness. You may have noticed throughout this run, there's not been the Super State specific music playing when I've activated it. You can turn it off with either a mod or there's something I think you can unlock to do it normally. But there is a spot on Metallic Madness Act 2 where when you activate Super State, it will play the super music. I think it has something to do with the way the Act 2 gimmick works, but the Act 1 gimmick is the foreground and background. So there are parts of the stage that are in the background only. We're only going to go back there once. Also, I'm going to opt to not activate Super State for this stage because this boss, very easy to get crushed if you... Oh, shoot. Okay, good. There's a spring down there. Very easy to get crushed by the boss with the increased speed and slidiness of Super Amy. This is also going to be the one stage that has a Sonic 1 boss returning, the final zone boss from the very end of Sonic 1, but with some nice quality of life changes to it, and also a second phase. Now we're in the background. This is the one time we're going to be back here. At least for Act 1. There's kind of foreground, background stuff with Act 2, but much less. So we're going to learn how to count to 4. I almost got crushed anyway, and I missed the hit. So, whoops. Let's see here. Okay. Good. So, very nice quality of life change to this fight. 2 pistons that are directly adjacent to each other cannot fire at the same time. There will always be at least a 1 piston gap in between them, so that way you can get in between them and get the hit on Eggman no matter where he is. Should be 1 more hit. Yeah, now we've got the desperation phase, so time to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That boss can be extremely dangerous if you get a little bit off.
Yeah. It can be Crush Kill City.
I did not think counting to 4 would feel so hard.
Yeah, Eggman can do that.
Classic nemesis of Eggman, counting.
So true. But now we are going to go back here to avoid that bot. Come on down here and get hit by this laser that turns us into Chibi Amy. So this is the Act 2 gimmick. Being transformed into a tiny little bean and then regrowing depending on what type of laser I run into. Also, because of some way the gimmick works, you activate Super State when you're in Chibi form, then you get the super music instead, which is very sad. We won't get to hear Eggman positively shredding on the saxophone, which is a bit unfortunate. Now we are going to come on up here, grow again, jump all the way up, charge a big spin dash, heli hammer across, get stuck on that guy's spikes. He's doing his best. And then... So I have a question for everyone in chat. Does anyone remember Honey the Cat? Because when you play as any other character, you'll have little Robo Amy dolls run around trying to give you hugs and blow you up and stuff like that. But if you're playing as Amy, they are little Robo dolls of Honey the Cat. I really, really wish that Sega would bring her back. She's got such a cool design. She's a really cool character that just feels so underused. I want her added to Sonic Rumble. That would be so cool. But Eggman's going to run away. I am going to charge a spin dash and then jump and flick left so that way Amy will be facing left when she hits the laser and will bounce backwards through it to save just a tiny bit of time. But now we are moving on into the final zone, the fourth and final unique zone, the Sonic Mania, and my personal favorite, the Titanic Monarch. Very difficult set of 2 stages, really cool. Absolutely amazing music on both acts, but especially Act 2, as well as the final boss. I'm going to hit that red spring to do a little bit of running on the ceiling. Grab an extra life, even though I have a maximum number of lives on this save file of 99. A couple hammer flips to save some time, and jump into a car with a crash test dummy bot, and be perfectly fine when it hits the wall, because Amy is durable and resilient. I am going to have enough rings here to activate Super State, but I am going to wait briefly because of this tall tower part here. Just in case I miss one of these and fall way down, I want to have Super State at the ready to activate to sort of just halt my fall and try to aim a little bit better for one of those orbs. But coming up here, I need to be very careful not to get crush killed because of some retracting spikes as well as a moving platform. I need to also land up there. There we go. Alright, I am going to focus for this section because I have been crush killed here multiple times in single runs before, so gonna be careful. Nice. Alright. Should be out of danger for the rest of the level. Want to come up here because there's a very cheeky red spring that is hidden in the ground over there that tries to send you away from this path, and this path is just nice and fast. Hammer flip up again, and because of the increased speed that Super Amy has, you can just bounce up against those over and over again and not have to use that pole that's in the middle to spin to the other set of bumpers on the other wall and back and forth, and that's slow. We're not doing that. Now we've got Crimson Eye. Very annoying fight without Super State, very easy fight with Super State. So there is also a lights out glitch for Act 2 on Titanic Monarch, so I've been told. I say that because I've never gotten it to work because the timing window for it is incredibly tight. So I'm going to not really bother because I don't actually know what the timing window is for it. But now we have the final stage. My personal favorite in the whole game. Also my favorite zone music in all of Sonic Mania. This stage is divided up into 4 big rooms. We are going to do the bottom left first because each room has a... Whoops. Where am I right? I think I... Oh, yeah. Okay. It has been so long since I've fallen there that I honestly forgot where it warped you. I just knew that I was like somewhere in the vicinity of where I should be. But anyway, each of these 4 rooms has a secret exit. And these secret exits have a 10-ring monitor and a specific type of shield. I want to do this room first because the shield in the secret exit for this room is a lightning shield, and I really want that ring magnet. So, going to just jump over here, Ellie hammer on through, grab the lightning shield, activate Super State, and now I can pretty much do these in any order that I like. I always like to do top left second just for the sake of it, and also because it's not that hard to get crush killed right here. Fortunately, that looks good. All right, nice. I like to do this room second just so that way if on the off chance that I do get crush killed, I can retry the level only, you know, a room and a quarter in instead of, you know, 3 rooms and a quarter in. Much less time loss if on the off chance that there is a crush kill. But this room, I think, is also, don't quote me on this, but it feels like it's the longest on the stage. I think top left, or top right, sorry, is the shortest. So let's just do that, get that out of the way. You can get crush killed here too, but it's a lot harder because it's a much narrower sort of corridor the entire time. Really cool jump here, jump all the way up to the red spring. Normally you have to get into one of those Crash Test Tummy cars and all that. I keep forgetting that there are springs there, it's so handy. Okay, physics. Last room time. So, if there are any donations, now is like the last good time during this run.
Absolutely. I'd love to shout out a couple more people who helped us meet that incentive, like Robbie Duran, who donated $5 with no comment, Melabella, who donated $25 with no comment, and Adora Bibble, who donated $55, which I think might have been the donation that got us right over that line, also with no comment. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting that incentive met. And speaking of incentives, we have one coming up next for Balatro. Get your donations in for the deck color that's going to be run there. They all play a little bit differently, and that'll be closed at the start of that run. So continue getting those donations in. Pick your favorite deck.
All right, final boss time, 16 hits to go. Time will be as soon as I get the 16th hit and Eggman's max starts blowing up. So be ready for that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be able to get 5 on the next vulnerability point, and then on the next 2, it's going to be 4 hits each. I don't actually know if I got 5 there or not. I wasn't counting. I should have been counting. But now we are going to pay Heavy Gunner from Studiopolis Act 1 a little bit of a visit. The hard-boiled heavies make a return in this fight, but we only see a Heavy Gunner in the speedrun, which is good because Heavy Shinobi, who is the second of them, his final boss room sucks so bad to play. All right, we've got 3 hits left. He's gonna fire some missiles, keep jumping around a little bit longer, and then it is going to be time. And now we've got Sonic with the Uber. Brought the car around. We are getting out of here. And also, fun fact about this mod: the final cutscene got edited to include Amy, which is super cute. But what was the end time for that run? I'm very curious.
Looks like 58:40.
Oh my god. Okay, that's a marathon PB.
Hey, nice job.
I'm very happy with that. Thank you.
You made that look so easy talking all through it. That was an incredibly
Honestly,
clean
the
run.
commentary was so good too.
Thank you very much. A few quick shout outs that I would like to do before signing off. Shout outs to the Classic Sonic speedrunning community for being very supportive and very, very cool. Shout outs to all of my friends over at Fast Pace Events, or FPE, for being super cool. Shout outs to all my Sonic friends, Callie Mac N, Virtual Cat, Flame Dragon, Blitz Hedgie, all of them. Super fun group of people to hang out with. Shout outs to Numbers for being on comms, and spef for doing a wonderful job hosting. And shout outs to Frame Fatales and GDQ for having me on to showcase this run. This is one of my favorite games to speedrun, and also a very special run to me, as this was the first Sonic speedrun of any kind that I learned. So I'm just so grateful and honored that I got to show it off on this stage.